Here we go. Hey there, my name is Ed Howie, and this is Howie Grow a Brand. 1, 2, 3. If you like what you learned from this video, help us promote this channel by clicking the like button below and subscribing to our channel. Ready to go? Let's get into today's chat. All right, you are tuning in to the newest segment in Howie Grow a Brand, and we're affectionately calling this Howie Talley. This is a rapid fire conversation between me, Ed Howie, and Chris Talley, former Senior Vice President and Chief Communications Officer for USAA. Chris and I, Talley and I, are going to go back and forth on one focused opportunity, one focused need that almost any business owner might have. Today, let's say the quick fire. The quick fire is about what are the 2 or 3 things any brand must do to survive going into 2021. Let's set the clock. We're going to talk more than our timing. You know, we always do. But you know what? Here's the first edition of Howie Talley, rapid fire, quick fire, things you need to know to survive. Clock starts now. Hello, Chris Talley. Welcome back again.
Hey, Ed, let's do it.
Here's what I like to do is I want to do a little quick fire round with you. I've had several folks in the last couple of days reach out in conversation, et cetera, and say, you know, man, things are getting uncertain again. You know, what should I be focusing on the next 3 to 6 months, given the fact that we don't know exactly where things are headed and they definitely aren't stable. So let's do a quick fire. I'm going to think of 2 or 3 things. Maybe you can think of 2 or 3 things that really, as a business leader of any side, you really better have a good lens on and a good focus on, okay? And I'm going to start. You ready?
Okay.
All right, timer set. We're going to do this in less than 10 minutes, all right?
Okay.
Cool. All right, so first thing on my mind from the marketer, get ready, cash flow.
Cash flow, absolutely.
Oh, my gosh.
You got to pay the bills, continue to provide the infrastructure, care for your employees, communicate within your communities. But if you don't have cash on hand or a way to get some cash on hand, those other items are going to be a challenge. So let's assume you've got an ability to have the cash flow situation taken care of, at least for the near term. Then I would double down on who are we, why do we exist, and does every single one of my employees understand their role and their purpose in it, and what their own future is within your entity. Because we're all concerned. It doesn't matter who you are. There isn't a single person in America who isn't thinking about or concerned about the future.
Well, you know, and it's interesting to say cash flow, and I'd also say kind of brand flow, is that when we are kind of hopefully around the same spot we were 9 months ago, who knows, but me and the team huddled, and I reminded myself and them and us collectively, the best way we survive this is to do what we do the best way we can.
That's right. That's right. So stay true to who you are. Don't try to be something you're not, and go back to your very purpose, your very why do we exist?
Which is really the value equation we need to strive for every day, right? But now more than ever, if you're not delivering value flow and brand flow and leadership flow, you're not going to get the cash flow.
That's right. That's right. And it kind of comes back to some things we've talked about through the years. Community. What do we have in common? I have an interest in several restaurants who are in the area making it. I want them to make it. And so my wife and my family and I do. And so they've stayed true to who they are. And so wherever we can contribute and be a part of the community that we enjoy at that particular restaurant or restaurants, because they've stayed true to who they are, we know their employees and they've taken care of their employees.
You know, that was a great angle on that, because, you know, I thought you were going to go down the path of talking about staying close to your customer community. What I love is what I heard you saying was, even as you're worried about your own business, make sure you're worried about those businesses that you love and want to support. You know, the whole notion of looking around your community and saying, okay, especially as a business owner, business leader, what are other brands and restaurants, you know, predictions, 60%, 80%, whatever the horrifying numbers they are, that how many restaurants are truly going to be around 6 months from now that are around today? We can see the ones that have already closed down. And so as a restaurant guy, as having some interest in restaurants, literally and figuratively, you know, it is crazy. Talk about a business model that is exactly the same but flipped upside down.
That's
you know,
right.
There's a brand of chicken sandwiches that I'm fond of. They haven't served a customer inside their restaurant in the last 7 months. It's all been through the drive-thru. Now
and are having one of their best years ever.
You said that, and I agree. You're exactly right.
Why?
Crazy.
Why?
Why? Because they figured out how could they deliver what the customer wants in a way that they could safely do it for themselves, more importantly, for their employees.
Their employees, that's right. Mm-hmm.
But they didn't change their mission.
Nope.
They didn't change their purpose. They didn't change their product, really. They changed the manner of delivery. And so they literally looked at product flow and said, the way we predict cash flow is we come up with a better product flow.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And so when the world turns back on, how do they sustain that level of support outside of their facilities and continue to generate the same feeling inside of the facility, so that the consistency, the promise of that chicken sandwich is as awesome as it is, however their consumers choose to consume it.
All right, so we talked about cash and we talked about our internal community. Let's talk about external community. What are some ways that, whether things you've seen that USAA has done, things that you wish USAA had done, or things that you would wish for other brands to do, what are some ways right now that a business owner, business leader could inspire their team to perhaps stay a little closer to their community?
Well, there's what is the entity going to do to give back to the community? And that's typically in the form of money, right? Okay, so money to help XYZ do this for our community. One way and one thing that I've experienced and seen very differently this year because of Zoom and other technologies is that it's much easier to provide insight, thoughts, and inspiration and say, I'm going to give an hour to an organization and provide thought leadership, expertise, and insights on a particular issue. And what used to might have been 2 days of travel for an hour, or 45 minutes of travel on either end for an hour, becomes literally an hour. And so let's say, hey, how about if everybody at BTY for 2021 is going to commit to 2 hours of thought leadership a month, and you can use it however you want, and you're not going to dictate how it's delivered. You just simply say, as a part of our community, we want to give back to this community, and a way to do that would be to provide thought leadership. So whether it's you giving 2 hours a month to your church, or the team in the office providing 2 hours of brainstorm council for a local food shelter, there's easy ways to do that and help us remain connected. We all feel like we've been stripped away from the community and the connectedness that we feel when we're all out and about together. So there's got to be different and creative ways to create that connection and do it in a really, really efficient way, because we've learned more efficient ways to communicate with one another.
I love that. I love the deliberateness of it, of saying, okay, hey, we are going to give back, but we're not just going to stroke a check. We're going to actually give of ourselves. Mm-hmm. and show up, maybe virtually, but still show up.
That's right.
And I mean, wow, there's so many angles or lenses you could apply that to, individually, collectively, for sure. And you can do that. Let's be realistic. I mean, it's not like we can just be handing out hours of free time right and left. That doesn't make sense. But what does make sense is, well, what is something that has made BTY creative? What is something that is important to you as its leader? And what might we have lost because we all feel like we're cooped up at home or unable to go physically spend an hour or a Saturday morning with our families restoring a park? Well, let's take that same equivalent amount of time and redeploy it in different fashion. All right. So, okay, some keys to surviving. And we got it. Cash is essential, but caring for your team really has to preempt that. You got to start with your team, and the cash will follow. And one of the best ways of ensuring that your community is okay is making sure your community is okay.
That's right. Connecting with the community and finding new and different ways to do that. And I love the idea of giving some optionality to employees with regard to how that happens. There can be things that are organized on a large scale or a small scale, and that can simply be something that is, you know what, my company believes so much in this and in me, I get to choose how I do it. And nobody's going to be looking over my shoulder. I can do what I want on my terms.
I love it. Move forward. Let's do it. All right.
Cheers, brother.
Hey, Chris.
All right.
See you, brother.
Bye.
Hey, I really hope this helps and inspires your day. If any of this works on your business this week, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, or hey, just message me. Can't wait to see what we chat about next time on How We Grow a Brand. We'll see you soon.